Sarah gripped the handlebar outside the convenience store, her swollen belly pressing against her coat. She watched the black sedan circle the parking lot for the third time. Her breathing quickened. Sarah approached him, legs trembling. "Excuse me," she whispered. The biker filled his tank at pump 3. Leather jacket, grey beard, tattoos running down his arms. He looked like someone you'd cross the street to avoid. The biker's expression changed. He scanned the parking lot, spotting the sedan idling near the exit. He turned, pulling out an earbud. "He's here again," she said. Voice cracking. "The man in the black car, he's been following me for 2 weeks. Your husband?" he asked. The biker looked at her stomach, then back at the car. "Where are you parked?" "Ex-boyfriend. He doesn't know about the baby. When I told him I was leaving, he said I'd never be free." Tears welled in her eyes. "I got a restraining order, but he doesn't care. I'm 8 months pregnant and terrified." The blue Honda. Right there. Before we continue, let us know in the comments where you're watching from, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe to The Goodness Effect. The biker nodded slowly. "Get in your car, lock the doors. Don't leave until I signal you. Making sure you get home safe." He pulled out his phone, typed something quickly, then walked toward the black sedan. "What are you going to do?" Sarah's hands shook as she hurried to her Honda. Through the windshield, she watched the biker approach the sedan. The driver's window rolled down. Words were exchanged. The conversation grew heated. The biker pointed at Sarah's car, then back at the driver. He walked back to Sarah's car and tapped the window. She rolled it down. Suddenly, the sedan's engine roared. It lurched forward, tires screeching as it sped toward the exit. The biker stood firm, memorizing the license plate, typing into his phone. "He's gone for now, but we need to talk. You can't keep living like this." Sarah sat in the corner booth of the diner, across the street. The biker, who introduced himself as Marcus, ordered coffee for both of them. "How long has this been going on?" Marcus asked. 6 months since I left him, 4 months since the restraining order, 2 weeks since he found where I moved. They said, unless he violates the order directly, there's nothing they can do. Following me in public isn't enough. He's smart. Stays just far enough away." Marcus leaned forward. "Police? What about family?" Sarah's eyes dropped. "My parents died in a car accident 3 years ago. No siblings. My friends stopped answering calls after Jake started showing up at their houses, their jobs. They got scared. Jake was different when we met," Sarah continued. "Charming, attentive. Then he wanted to know where I was, every minute. Got angry when I talked to male co-workers, started checking my phone. I made excuses, thought I could fix him." Marcus understood that isolation tactic. He'd seen it before. Constantly. Texts, voicemails, emails. The restraining order stopped the direct contact, but not the following. "He wants control. He always said I belonged to him." She touched her belly. "When I found out I was pregnant, something changed in me. I couldn't bring a child into that environment. I packed a bag while he was at work, emptied half the neck account, and left a note." "Did he threaten you?" "He never forgave himself for being absent." Karen survived physically but never recovered mentally. She lived in a facility now, barely recognizing Marcus during visits. Marcus's jaw tightened. 23 years ago, his sister Karen had said similar words. She'd been 26, pregnant, trying to escape her boyfriend. Marcus was deployed overseas when he got the call. Karen was in the hospital. Her boyfriend had broken 3 ribs and fractured her skull. She lost the baby. Sarah looked confused. "Your sister?" Marcus told her everything. Sarah's tears returned, but different ones. Someone finally understood. "You're not alone anymore," Marcus said. "I won't let what happened to my sister happen to you." "What can we do?" she asked. "First, you're not going home alone tonight." Marcus made calls while Sarah finished her coffee. Within an hour, 3 more bikers arrived at the diner. They looked rough, intimidating, but spoke to Sarah with unexpected gentleness. Sarah blinked in surprise. "We're not just weekend warriors," Tommy explained. He was younger, maybe 35, with kind eyes. "Marcus started this after his sister. We've helped 17 women and 4 men get away from dangerous situations. This is Tommy, Bear and Vic," Marcus introduced them. "We ride together. We also run a volunteer group helping domestic violence survivors." "Safely," Bear added. He was massive, 6'4", with scarred knuckles, legal-like, We work with lawyers, shelters, cops who actually care. Sarah stared at the card. I can't afford. Vic, the quietest one, slid a card across the table. My wife runs a safe house 2 counties over. Secure location, legal support, counseling. You'd have your own room. Medical care for the baby. It's free, Vic interrupted. Funded by donations, fundraisers. We've all lost someone to abuse. We're not losing anyone else. Marcus leaned in. Here's the plan. Tonight, Tommy and Bear follow you home. Make sure Jake isn't waiting. Tomorrow we move you to the safe house. You disappear completely. New phone number, no social media, no paper trail. But my job, my apartment. Sarah's mind spun. This is real. You actually do this. The shelter has job programs. Your landlord gets notice you're breaking the lease due to safety concerns. It's legal in this state. Your mail gets forwarded to a P.O. box we monitor. 17 times, Marcus repeated. All 17 are alive, rebuilding their lives. Some have their kids back. One just graduated nursing school. Bear nodded. My daughter's mom was murdered by her ex. I was deployed. Couldn't protect them. Found out 3 days after the funeral. Sarah wiped her eyes. Why? Why help strangers like this? Marcus's voice grew quiet. Because Karen was a stranger to someone who didn't help. Someone saw the bruises, heard her crying through apartment walls, watched her boyfriend scream at her in parking lots. Nobody knowing. I won't be that person. None of us will. Tommy spoke next. My brother's wife, he didn't know how to help, was too ashamed to ask. She died in their garage, made it look like suicide. He never recovered, took his own life 2 years later. Sarah understood. These men carried ghosts. Vic stayed silent, but pulled up his sleeve. A tattoo covered his forearm. A woman's name, dates, angel wings. Tommy and Bear followed Sarah's Honda to her apartment complex. Marcus rode ahead, scouting the area. No black sedan, no Jake. Okay, she whispered. Help me. Sarah's apartment was small, 2nd floor, minimal furniture. She'd clearly been living temporary, ready to run. Pack essentials, Marcus instructed. Clothes for 2 weeks, documents, medications, anything irreplaceable. Leave the furniture. While Sarah packed, Tommy installed a security bar on her door, and Bear checked window locks. Marcus photographed everything for records, documenting her living conditions for legal purposes. Sarah emerged with 2 duffel bags. That's everything important. Baby stuff? Bear asked. Marcus made a note on his phone. The safe house has supplies. Donations from community members. Cribs, clothes, diapers. You'll be set. Haven't bought anything. Seemed like tempting fate while Jake was still around. Let's move, Tommy said. They escorted Sarah to her car. Marcus would ride beside her, Tommy and Bear behind. If Jake appeared, they'd box him in, call the police, document everything. They heard footsteps in the hallway. Everyone froze. The steps passed, a neighbor entering the apartment next door. The drive was tense. Every set of headlights made Sarah's pulse spike, but they reached a motel 30 minutes away without incident. Sarah checked into the room. It was clean, basic, safe. Marcus brought her dinner from a drive-through. You'll stay here tonight, Marcus explained. Registered under Tommy's name, we'll take shifts in the parking lot. Tomorrow morning, we move you to the safe house. She thought about names, about nurseries, about first steps and first words, about a life where her daughter wouldn't learn that love meant control, that fear was normal. Try to sleep, he said. We're right outside. But Sarah couldn't sleep. She lay in the dark, hand on her belly, feeling her daughter kick. Yes, a daughter. She'd learned that at the ultrasound she'd gone to alone. I know you're with those bikers. It won't matter. You're mine, Sarah. The baby's mine. I'll find you. Around midnight, her burner phone buzzed. An unknown number. Jake had somehow gotten her new number. Sarah's blood turned cold. She ran to the door, opened it. Marcus was there instantly. He texted me. He knows about you, about tonight. But doubt crept in. What if he does find me? Marcus read the message, his expression hardening. He's bluffing, trying to scare you back into contact. Block this number. We're changing your phone again tomorrow. Morning came with rain. Marcus drove Sarah's car while Tommy and Bear followed on their bikes, rain gear keeping them dry. Then we deal with it. Legally. Together. You're not facing him alone. Sarah wanted to believe him. Marcus sat in the chair by her door the rest of the night, refusing to leave. His presence was the only reason she finally slept. "Welcome," Maria said. "You're safe here. Let me show you around." Vic's wife, Maria, greeted them at the door. She was warm, maternal, immediately putting Sarah at ease. The safe house was an hour away, a large converted farmhouse on 10 acres. Security cameras dotted the property. A tall fence surrounded the grounds. The house held 6 bedrooms, currently housing 4 other women and 3 children. Everyone had their own space but shared common areas. A playroom filled with toys occupied the sunroom. The kitchen was industrial-sized, designed for communal meals. Sarah met the other residents. Jennifer, escaping her husband of 12 years. Sayisha, whose boyfriend had put her in the hospital twice. Melissa, only 19, pregnant, like Sarah, fleeing her family who'd arranged a forced marriage. "We have rules," Maria explained. "No contact with anyone from your past without approval. No posting locations on social media. All visitors are screened. We have counselors on site twice a week. Legal consultations every Thursday. Medical care is arranged through a clinic that specializes in trauma survivors." That afternoon, Sarah met with the house lawyer, a sharp woman named Patricia, who volunteered her time. They shared stories, tears, hope. Sarah realized she wasn't alone. These women understood. "We're filing for an emergency protective order extension," Patricia explained. "With Jake's text last night, we have evidence he's escalating. We'll also pursue harassment charges. He's following you, the text to your new number. It establishes a pattern." "It should, but restraining orders are paper. They don't stop determined people. That's why you're here, why we have security." "Will it work?" Sarah's stomach knotted. "So he could still find me." That evening, Sarah joined the communal dinner. The women cooked together. The children played. It felt almost normal, like a strange extended family born from tragedy. Patricia's expression softened. "We've never had anyone breached here. The property's not in anyone's name connected to the organization. The address isn't public. Former residents don't share locations. You're as safe as we can make you." After dinner, Marcus stopped by. "How are you settling in?" "Better than I expected. Everyone's been kind." "Marcus, why does Jake hate me so much?" "I just wanted out." "Good. I'll check in regularly. You have my number, Maria's number, the security company's number. Any concern, any sighting, you call immediately." Marcus sat down. "It's not hate, it's ownership. Men like Jake don't see partners as people. You're an object he possessed. When you left, you challenged his control. To him, that's unforgivable. Will he ever stop? Some do, most don't, until consequences force them. That's what we're building. Legal consequences, documentation, making it harder for him to justify his actions, easier for the system to intervene. She's alive, that's something, but she's not really there anymore. The beating damaged her brain. She has good days, bad days, mostly bad." Sarah nodded. "Your sister, is she?" "I'm sorry. Me too. But helping you, helping all of them, it's how I cope. Can't change the past. Can't change someone's future." No signs of Jake. No black sedan. No threatening messages. Sarah began to believe she might actually be free. 3 weeks passed peacefully. Sarah attended counseling, learned birthing techniques from a doula who volunteered at the house, prepared for her daughter's arrival. She chose the name Emma. "Could be coincidence," the security officer said. "But we're flagging it. We've increased patrols." Marcus arrived within the hour. "We're moving you." Then Maria received a call from the security company. Cameras caught a black sedan driving slowly past the property entrance twice in 1 hour. Different plates from Jake's registered vehicle, but the same make and model. "Can't take chances. If Jake found this location, you're compromised. We have a backup safe house 3 states away. You leave tonight." Sarah's world tilted. "I just got settled. Emma's due in 4 weeks. I can't." "What? Why?" "You can and you will," Marcus said firmly. "I won't watch another woman die because we underestimated a threat." Marcus, Tommy, Bear, and Vic formed a convoy. Sarah rode with Maria in a nondescript minivan. The bikers surrounded them. A protective formation. Jennifer and Aisha helped Sarah pack. The other women hugged her goodbye, understanding the necessity even as it terrified them. If it could happen to Sarah, it could happen to anyone. Sarah's contractions started 20 minutes later. Marcus's voice crackled through. "Everyone stay calm. Vic, drop back, get the plates. Bear, move ahead, find a public place. Busy gas station, preferably with cameras. 2 hours into the drive, Tommy radioed ahead. Black sedan, 3 cars back, been with us since the last town. Maria checked her watch. How far apart? Not now, she whispered, breathing through the pain. Please not now. I don't know. That's the second one. We need a hospital, Maria said into the radio. Another contraction hit. Stronger. Sarah cried out. Negative, Marcus responded. If that's Jake, he's waiting for us to stop. Hospital's too contained, too easy to trap. We keep moving. She's in labor, Maria insisted. She needs medical care. The sedan pulled alongside the minivan. Sarah saw Jake's face through the window. His expression was cold, determined. He pointed at her, mouthed something. Tommy's voice cut in. Black sedan's accelerating. He's moving up. Maria yanked the wheel, avoiding collision. The minivan skidded, tires screaming. Marcus's bike roared forward, cutting between the sedan and minivan. Then he swerved into their lane. Jake swerved toward Marcus. Marcus held steady, forcing Jake toward the shoulder. The sedan overcorrected, fishtailed, struck the guardrail. Metal screeched. The car spun, flipped, low down an embankment. Sarah's water broke. Marcus stopped. So did the convoy. Bear called 911 while Vic ran down the embankment toward the smoking wreck. Hospital, now, Maria commanded. Tommy pulled alongside on his bike, escorted them away from the scene. The nearest hospital was 12 minutes. Sarah labored for 6 hours. Marcus arrived halfway through, cleaned up, somber. They made it in 8. Sarah was rushed to labor and delivery. The staff, alerted by Maria's call, knew the situation. Security locked down the floor. No visitors without ID verification. Jake, Sarah gasped between contractions. Alive. Critical condition. Arrested at the scene. Reckless endangerment. Stalking, violating a restraining order. His car had weapons, zip ties, a go bag. He was planning to take you. Sarah's contraction peaked. She screamed. You're safe now, Marcus said. He can't hurt you anymore. Sarah held her daughter, tears streaming. She's here. She's really here. At 11:47 p.m., Emma arrived. 6 pounds, 9 ounces. Healthy, loud, perfect. Sarah stayed at the backup safe house for 2 months after Emma's birth. Then she moved into subsidized housing through a program for domestic violence survivors. She got a job at a local library, earned enough to support herself and Emma. Marcus stood in the corner, his own eyes wet. This was why. This moment. A mother holding her baby, safe, alive, free. Over the next days, the legal pieces fell into place. Jake was charged with multiple felonies. His injuries meant months of hospitalization before trial. Patricia worked with prosecutors to ensure maximum sentencing. On Emma's first birthday, Sarah invited the entire crew. Marcus, Tommy, Bear, Vic, Maria, Patricia, even Jennifer and Elisha, who'd also graduated from the safe house. They gathered in Sarah's small apartment, ate cake, watched Emma smash frosting into her hair. It was loud, chaotic, joyful. Marcus visited regularly. He became Uncle Marcus to Emma, watched her grow, celebrated her first smile, first laugh, first steps. Marcus pulled Sarah aside. You did it. You built a life. We did it, Sarah corrected. I'd be dead without you. Emma wouldn't exist. Karen would have been a mom, Marcus said quietly. She'd have loved it. I see her in Emma sometimes. Second chances. Just trying to balance the scales. Emma toddled over, reaching for Marcus. He picked her up, and she giggled, grabbing his beard. Sarah hugged him. You saved us. You save everyone. Sarah watched them, her daughter and the biker who'd become family. Sometimes angels wear leather and ride motorcycles. Sometimes strangers become saviors. Sometimes whispered words in a parking lot change everything. Jake was sentenced to 15 years. Sarah testified, head high, Emma in Maria's arms in the gallery. The judge praised Sarah's courage and mentioned the biker group that had protected her. After the trial, local news covered the story. Donations poured into the organization. More volunteers joined, more safe houses opened, more women and men found escape routes from danger. And Marcus continued riding, continued answering calls from frightened strangers, continued honoring his sister by saving others. Sarah eventually trained as a counselor, working with new residents at the safe houses. She shared her story, offered hope, proved survival was possible. Emma grew up surrounded by bikers who'd die to protect her. She called them uncles, never knowing how close she came to never existing. Some stories don't have happy endings, but this one did, because one biker refused to look away, because one woman found the courage to whisper for help. Because sometimes, when everything seems darkest, strangers become family, and whispered fears become battle cries for survival. Emma's first word was Mama. Her second was Marcus. And Sarah never looked back. 3 years after Emma's first birthday, Sarah stood in front of a community center filled with people. Her hands trembled as she adjusted the microphone. Marcus sat in the front row, giving her an encouraging nod. "My name is Sarah, and I'm a survivor," she began. The audience applauded. 50 people filled the room, mostly women, some with children clinging to their legs. They'd come to hear her speak at the domestic violence awareness event Marcus's organization was hosting. Sarah told her story. The whisper in the parking lot. The chase. Emma's birth. Every word felt heavy, but necessary. She saw recognition in the eyes staring back at her. These people understood. After the speech, a young woman approached. She couldn't have been more than 22, with a black eye poorly covered by makeup. "My boyfriend follows me everywhere," she whispered. "I don't know what to do." Sarah took her hand. "You just did the first thing. You asked for help." Marcus walked over, coffee in hand. "You did good up there." Within an hour, the woman, named Crystal, was registered with the organization. Tommy and Bear would move her to safety within 48 hours. Sarah watched them work, remembering when she'd been on the further end of that same efficiency. It never gets easier, talking about it. It shouldn't. Means you remember how bad it was, keeps you grateful for how good it is now. Sarah smiled. Emma starts preschool next month. Real preschool, not just daycare. She's so excited. 2 more semesters. Then I'm certified to counsel full-time. Sarah paused. I want to open another safe house. Bigger. With a children's wing. Full-time security. Medical staff on site. And you're finishing your degree. Marcus raised his eyebrows. That's ambitious. Funding alone would be. I've been talking to Patricia. She knows grant writers, philanthropists, and my story's been in the news. People want to help. They just need someone to organize it. Completely. I survived. Because strangers cared. Now I want to be the stranger who cares for others. You're serious. They watched Crystal leave, with Aisha, who now worked as an intake coordinator for the organization. Another life potentially saved. Another woman getting her chance. Marcus grinned. Karen would have liked you. She had that same fire before everything happened. Vic approached with paperwork. We got approved for the second property. The old church building downtown needs renovation, but the bones are solid. Could house 12 residents plus children. Sarah's heart raced. Seriously. The church agreed. They've been trying to sell for years. When we explained the purpose, they donated it. Tax write-off for them, blessing for us. The next 6 months became a blur. Sarah balanced school, parenting Emma, and overseeing renovations. Local contractors volunteered labor. Hardware stores donated supplies. The community center held fundraisers. Marcus's original group of 4 bikers had grown to 23 regular volunteers. They built walls, installed security systems, painted nurseries. Beer welded custom window bars that looked decorative but provided protection. Tommy's wife designed a garden where residents could grow vegetables. During this time, Sarah received a letter, prison postage. Jake's handwriting. Emma spent weekends at the construction site, wearing a tiny hard hat Marcus had bought her. She handed tools to workers, collected screws in a bucket, made everyone smile. She didn't understand the building's purpose yet, but she felt the love being poured into it. Sarah read it 3 times. Do you think he means it? Her hands shook as she opened it. Marcus insisted on being present. The letter was short. I've had time to think. What I did was wrong. I hurt you. I'm sorry. I don't expect forgiveness. I just wanted you to know I'm getting help. Therapy, anger management. I'll never contact you again after this. I hope you and the baby are happy. Nothing. He asked for no contact. Honor that. Keep living your life. If he's genuine, good for him. If not, he's locked up for 11 more years. What should I do? Marcus shrugged. Maybe. Prison changes some people. Others just get better at manipulation. The safe house opened on a rainy Tuesday in October. They called it Emma's Place, though Sarah insisted on also including Karen's name. The official title became Emma and Karen House of Hope. Sarah folded the letter and put it in a drawer. She never responded. Some doors needed to stay closed. At the ribbon-cutting ceremony, Marcus gave a speech. His voice cracked when he talked about his sister, about Sarah, about every person they'd helped. Local news covered the event. The mayor attended. Donations increased.